Today's episode is sponsored by Loot Crate. The second best thing to gaming is sweet, sweet gaming gear. The only thing better than sweet gaming gear is getting it delivered straight to your door every month. Loot Crate is the leader in gaming and pop culture gear, and now through their partnership with the Multiplayer Gaming Podcast, you can get 15% off a Loot Crate using code PODCAST15. Simply go to multiplayerpodcast.com/lootcrate, pick out a crate, enter code PODCAST15, and get ready for gaming loot nirvana. Still looking for that awesome Christmas gift? Look no further than multiplayerpodcast.com/lootcrate.
Welcome to the Multiplayer Gaming Podcast. We are a video game podcast, but guess what? We're not talking about video games today. We are covering listener questions, and unless some of them are about video games, then we're not talking about video games.
I'm pretty sure some of them are about video games, but we'll have to wait and see.
I'm not going to read them. I'm only covering personal interest stories.
Sure.
Questions. All right, let me introduce my co-hosts. Who is Paul?
Who is Paul? Is this an existential? Is this the first question?
It is. It's my first question
Who
for
is
you.
Paul? Paul is me. Thank you.
Oh, that's good. And then who is Josh?
Me, Josh.
Oh dear.
Paul went enlightened.
I know.
Josh went full
I had to
caveman.
bring balance to the force, man.
Oh.
Paul used the word existential within the first 2 minutes of the show, so I figured I better dumb it down.
All right, let's kick it off. First question. This is from Drunk Cookies. Obvious question. What's your favorite beer crossed out cookie? So I guess we kind of had to answer both.
I think that's fair. I mean, it is his name. I kind of feel like you have to address both sides of the coin.
Great name, by the way.
Yeah. Fantastic name. Top 10.
I do not drink beer, so I can only answer what my favorite cookie is, which is a Samoa. Girl Scout cookie
Girl
Samoa.
Scout.
If I could eat just boxes of those. Now, I get there's better like traditional, like, there's chocolate chip cookies and your cookie brands or types. But if I'm going to say, hey, what's my favorite cookie in existence? Girl Scout cookie Samoa.
Samoa, way better than Thin Mint.
Yeah, I mean, Thin Mints are like your comfort cookie.
Thin Mint.
No, that's true, because Thin Mints are like your comfort cookie. That's where it's like, look, I don't want anything fancy. I just want to snack on some cookies. Samoas are I want to eat something delicious right now.
Like, I'm going to eat Samoas for dinner. Like, that's what Samoas are. Yeah.
Thin Mints are, I want to eat a sleeve of something.
Yes.
You really are eating an entire sleeve of Thin Mints. If you open it up and you eat one, you're eating all of them.
Well, they go bad. You have to eat them. You have to eat them all at once, right?
Yeah.
The shelf life, little known fact, shelf life on Thin Mints is exactly 10 minutes. So if you don't finish the sleep before then, they're bad anyway.
You can't waste them.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. So for me, my favorite beer, I'm gonna do a category of beers. It's like fresh squeezed IPAs. Like Deschutes has a really good one. So it's a hazy IPA.
I like hops. Can you squeeze a beer?
And I like hops and I like citrus.
Okay.
What can I say? And then for cookie, this might be a hot take.
Don't you say you don't like cookies.
Oatmeal raisin.
Oh, I love oatmeal raisin cookies, Todd.
You know what's better than oatmeal raisin?
Don't say oatmeal chocolate.
Don't say any other cookie.
Oatmeal chocolate chip.
No.
Oh, get out of here.
It doesn't have the same. Cinnamon and chocolate don't mix like cinnamon and raisins do. I mean, that's true.
Right. Maybe.
You know? But Todd, I'm with you.
I've never had an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie.
You're not missing anything, because oatmeal raisin's superior.
Sounds too far. It's like when science goes too far.
There's a really cool cookie place. If there's anyone that lives in Phoenix, it's at Westgate, and it's a place called Crumble. They have excellent oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. You should try them out sometime.
All right.
All right, and then I get to answer this. My favorite beer is a glass of Chardonnay. And my favorite cookie is definitely a really nice chocolate chip cookie. Now, I'm going to hijack the podcast. We're going to make this about cooking for a minute. Okay?
Oh, no.
The best recipe out there is Bon Appetit's BA Best chocolate chip cookie. You brown the butter. It has the bittersweet chocolate chunks that you chop up yourself. It's absolutely delicious. The key is browning the butter.
Now, is this your soft, chewy? Because that's really the best kind of chocolate chip cookie, is the crispy outer edge with the soft, like, chewy rest of the cookie.
That's exactly what you're shooting for. Yes, that's the perfect cookie.
Don't give me none of those weird cake cookie, like chocolate chip cookies, and don't give me the hard, like, junky Chips Ahoy ones, because those are terrible.
Do you know what's better than a chocolate chip cookie?
Pie?
A chocolate chip cookie with oatmeal.
Oh, okay.
That's what you did to my cookie.
No, that's,
Paul.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And you ruined it.
Well, your answer was wrong. I had to fix it. Actually, really, really funny story. I was very spoiled as a child, and my mom, Patreon supporter in our Discord, Yaya Arizona, she would make so many homemade cookies that the first time I ever had a chocolate chip cookie, I got really mad and yelled, "Why is this cookie so hard?" And it was at one of her friends' houses, and I might have been a little entitled as a child.
Oh my goodness.
wow.
I'm just imagining being that parent and have a kid in your kitchen yelling, "Why is this cookie so hard?" And you're like, don't eat the cookie. If you don't want the cookie, don't eat the cookie.
I think I was like 2 years old, maybe 3, so too young to have any social graces. Well, there you go. That was like a five-minute answer there on favorite cookie. But I like
we like our cookies around.
I'm for it.
All right. So next question come from P Helps or Phelps. Who knows?
Helps.
All right. So advice that you could tell your younger self. So what is some advice you could tell your younger self? I think this is a good question. And there's a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth part to this question. There's a lot in here. So let's break it down by this first one.
This is a family-friendly podcast, so I'm going to keep it family-friendly. But it would be have good friends. Like if we're getting serious for a split second, it is I have learned in my old age,
Very old,
that you are like your friends are. So if you do not have good friends that are good people and lift you up, then you have bad friends that are bringing you down. And you may not know it at the time until you get older and look back and then go, man, those friends sucked. But that's what I would tell myself, is have good friends, good people as friends.
That's a good answer. My less serious answer would be don't pre-order Fallout 76. If I had a time machine, that's the first thing I would tell myself.
Oh.
And the more serious note would, just to do what's right and don't care what the naysayers have to say. Follow your moral compass, do what's right. Don't worry about other people watching you or making fun of you. Just be confident and do the right thing.
I thought about making this into a song.
Oh, sing it, Todd.
Because I'm a...
Do you need me to drop a beat for you, Todd?
You can't always get what you want.
Okay.
You can't always get what you want.
You get what you need?
You can't always get what you want. But when you try sometimes, you might find.
You get what you need.
That's it. No. Whoa, no.
Oh.
You might find, like it.
All right.
Okay,
I started singing in my head while Todd was saying all that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So I zoned out there.
No, I think I don't want to steal, go off Josh's advice, but that, have good friends is, I don't know. There is no second one to that. That is such an important thing. And also, just Xbox is better than PlayStation. And don't buy the PS2. Buy an Xbox. That's what I would tell my
That's
younger
terrible
self.
advice. I thought we were giving good advice here.
Yeah. My new advice is just fast forward at the 10-minute mark.
Pay no
of this
attention to Todd.
All right, going on to the second part. How did you guys meet? I know two of you are brother-in-laws.
Wow, I feel like a third wheel now.
You are a third wheel in this podcast. You are not making the family reunion. Tell you that.
I have ingrained myself into Paul's family a good bit. We get invited. We get invited to holiday stuff now. Well, pre-COVID stuff. But yeah, I'm good at weaseling my way into people's good graces and getting invited over for fun.
Yes, Josh weaseled his way into my life, and I couldn't get rid of him. Yeah. No, actually, Josh's brother-in-law was the best man at my wedding. So I had my childhood best friend. He got married to Josh's sister, and then Josh ended up moving out to Arizona. That's how I met Josh. And then I met Todd because Todd is married to my sister-in-law. So interesting that we have those little connections, and somehow we just all ended up playing games together.
Yeah. And we had a solid group of family members that we played games with. Like, if you connect all of the family groups, including like a best man jump,
yes,
then you get quite a few family members in that, which is always funny.
Video games are like the glue that binds, man. That's what I'm learning here. Because I would not know Todd if not for video games.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's fair. I normally don't hang out with such old people.
I mean, it's true.
You
have so little in common.
No, I think, it's what it is. I think for me is we're all dads. So when the kids go to bed, there really isn't a lot of time to be like, oh, I'm going to go out to dinner or I'm going to go out with friends, maybe on the weekends and stuff like that. But then it's like, it's way easier to just jump on Discord, see who wants to play games, and then play games for a couple hours. And like that fulfills the social need that I would normally have when I was younger. And then I would be like, oh, I'm just going to like go out. I'm going to see what people are doing. Who cares that it's a Wednesday night? We're young. And now it's like, oh, like I want to hang out and do something. Oh, I'll play video games and see who wants to play. All right. Next question from P Helps. He helps. Do you guys hang out often outside of gaming? If so, what are some of the activities you guys bond over together? Oh. Does Gloomhaven count as outside of gaming? Does a game count? Does a board game count as not video gaming?
Yes.
I mean, he didn't say video gaming.
Because I love board games, man.
We actually hang out a lot outside of the podcast prior to COVID. So we have not hung out in person recently. But absolutely. Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about Gloomhaven and board games, Josh?
Yes, I love board games. Anybody that invites me to a board game night, I'm going to your board game night. I can tell you that. And Paul, you have set up some fun board game nights in the past. And then there's a game called Gloomhaven that the three of us were the core group. It is like D&D light almost. That's the easiest way without getting really in depth. And we have tried to pull in other friends to play with us, but then for whatever reason, like none of them lasted. Like one friend lasted like commitment. 4 sessions, and then another one lasted like 1, and then another friend lasted like 1. And I because the game is great, man, but yeah, so we haven't played that in a while. And then Paul hosts some amazing poker nights every couple months or so, and those are an absolute blast.
Murder mystery dinners. Speaking of which, fun. I have some photos. Should we post one of you on our socials, Josh?
I got no shame, man. You can post away because they're funny.
There was one murder mystery where Josh and his wife, they had decided what characters they were going to play, and then they decided to swap. So Josh showed up as the maid in pantyhose and a little French maid dress and a feather duster.
It was great.
And we do have photos of that, so maybe we should post one.
You looked good.
Yeah.
For your age.
Hey.
Did you shave your legs for that,
I
Josh?
did not shave my legs. No, I had pantyhose on. What did I need to shave my legs for?
Yeah, poker night, murder mysteries, and we do spend some holiday stuff together. So we've done Halloween, some stuff like that. Yeah.
We legit are friends outside of the show, which is really awesome.
Well, and it helps you guys have kids right around the same age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Josh and I have kids the same age, and Todd and I have kids the same age. So there's like connections all around. Even though your guys' kids have a little bit of a gap, there's some overlap between all of us.
All right. And then last question from Phelps. Some background on you guys and occupations. So Josh used to be a marine biologist, which is insane.
I was.
It blows my mind.
It's,
Someone said you're going to swim with the fishes, and you said, okay, sure.
Well, dolphins aren't fish.
yes, number one, how dare you? Dolphins are not fish.
Dolphins are mammals.
Marine biology is more than just dolphins.
Yeah. Yes, I was a marine biologist. I did get to swim with dolphins every day. I did research on fishing boats for a while. That was what my degree was in. I am now in the illustrious and exciting world of auto insurance.
That's fast paced.
Hey, it supports the family. It's a good gig. I like it a lot. It pays the bills. It might not be as glorious sounding as swimming with dolphins, but it's a really good career, and it lets me do stuff like this, which is really cool.
Does Enterprise Rent a Car give you the tools to be your own boss?
What?
I don't know. It's a quote from Step Brothers.
Were you? Oh, it's like what? Like Paul or Todd secretly got some kind of like Enterprise endorsement for the show, and he was like, "Don't worry, guys, I can work it in. It's a listener question show, but I got you."
Oh, goodness. Yeah, for me, I've had a lot of jobs over the years, but I did work with Josh for a little while in the auto insurance world. And currently, my wife and I run a nonprofit Christian foster care and adoption agency. So our job is a lot of recruiting foster parents, getting them trained, monitoring them in their homes. And for a while, I worked with Todd's wife as well. So we were coworkers for a bit.
Yeah.
Till you fired her.
We did not fire Bonnie. Bonnie became a stay-at-home mom.
I was just trying to.
It was
create
by
some
choice.
drama, you know. So.
But we were very glad. We're like, finally.
Don't worry. I'm sure she doesn't listen anyway.
Ouch. All right, moving on. I work at Carvana that sells cars online. We have vending machines throughout the country. Those are pretty fun. And then I am a product manager there, so I work with engineers, and I work on like the technology that enables all of us selling cars online. Which, funny story with this, like I was switching jobs, and I was like telling my parents, like, hey, I got a new job at Carvana, and they're like, oh, okay. That's cool. Like, good for you. Like, really happy for you. Like, they're encouraging. The next phone call I have with them, they're like, why do you want to sell used cars? You can do so much better. Like, why would you do that? And then it's like, I'm not a used car salesman. Like, yes, we're selling cars. Yes, they're used. I'm not in a lot with a wavy hand guy saying, like, get your Memorial Day sales now 80-100% off.
I just picture your parents like eating dinner and saying he could have been a lawyer or a doctor.
He could have been. He had so much potential.
Yeah.
Where did
He was an art minor in college. He could have done something with it.
Oh, how funny! I thought the second phone call was going to be, "What kind of discount can you give us on a
That's
car?"
That's where I really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. It's don't be a used car salesman. And then I said, don't tell me what to do, Mom. And then I ran away from home. Just joking. All right. Moving on. Next question from Yaya, Arizona, talking about moving away from home. Why don't you like Fortnite? Josh,
how long do we have in this
answer.
episode?
Now remember, Yaya Arizona is an epic supporter on Patreon. She's also my mother.
I cannot be a sellout, though. So as much as we love Yaya, it's honestly, we had a good conversation on this the other day in our Discord server. It's the building. Like, I like the battle royale. There's nothing wrong with the gameplay. The shooting mechanics are fine. I'm okay even with like the art style. I abhor the building mechanics of that game. And if you're not good at the building mechanics, then you're not good at the game. And I just have zero desire to try to learn how to build a 20-story structure in a half a second.
Or to be building things while shooting at other people. Right. You just want to focus on the gunplay.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen these videos of these super good, like, professional players where they get into this, like, 1v1, and it's literally just who can build the tallest skyscraper the fastest. And, it's mind-numbing to me. Like, that's not fun, like, for me to watch, and I don't know. That's my biggest complaint with the game, but it's like Todd with not jumping in video games, or you with, like, having dark games. It's just an instant, like, no from me. So, as the famous, is it Randy Johnson? It's a no from me, dog.
Randy Jackson. Randy Johnson is the pitcher.
Yeah, pitcher, right? I knew I was saying it, and I'm like, this isn't quite right, but I'm just going to say it anyway.
Hey, Todd, do you have a ninja sword signed by Randy Jackson?
You know I do. Thinking about it, Josh never built in Rust, or we never wanted him to build in Rust either. So you're just not a builder. Like, you're not into simulation games. You don't build in Rust. You don't build in Fortnite.
What's funny is I build things in real life, though. Like, woodworking is one of my hobbies. So, like, I like to build things in real life, just not in video games, apparently.
Yeah, fair enough. I think for me, I do have an issue with the art style. So even though that's not a hindrance for you, Josh, it is for me. And there's just better options. If I want to play a battle royale, I'm going to go to Apex. And if I have other friends who would rather play Warzone, I'd rather hop into that. So I think it's just not a matter of me not liking Fortnite. It's just that when there's so many battle royales, there's just other ones that I like more.
That's fair. And I want to jump to this next question real quick.
Wait, you didn't answer, Todd. Why don't you like Fortnite?
Well, honestly, if another reason I don't like it, I don't like the shooting. Like, I think the shooting feels weird. Like, everything feels light. Even the snipers, like, it doesn't feel like a good sniper to me. I don't know what it is about it. I can't really pin it down.
No
and
oomph.
Also, there's no oomph to it. And then there's, I'm also a little bitter about the PvE mode that they scrapped for Battle Royale. I was really excited for that, and that looked like super fun because I love building. And then they just completely scrapped it and never worked on it once the Battle Royale mode took off.
Yeah, once you have the most successful game of all time, there's no point going backward.
Yeah. And then, slightly different question. This is from the host of Multiplayer Podcast, Todd Barslew. He says, Paul, why don't you play Fortnite with your mother?
Oh.
Am I allowed to blame it on squads? Because my mom gets on with her sister, who lives in Florida, and my kids will get on with her, or their, I guess if you want to call him cousin, Jose, they will all hop on together. And so, they have a full squad, Todd. They're good. They don't need
that's
me.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
You got lucky, Paul.
All right.
Yeah.
I was sweating there a little bit on the brow, but I think I passed.
This next question is from Mammon1836392. Question: there are 3 of you on the cover of the podcast. Which one is which?
Ooh, that's a really good question, because I'm sure you guys have experienced this where you hear someone a lot, whether it's on the radio or a podcast, and then you see what they look like and it doesn't match at all. So the way you can tell by looking at these pictures is I'm the one who looks like he really hates taking pictures of himself and was really upset when Todd said, email me 200 pictures of yourself making funny faces. And the one who's looking very apprehensive is me.
I think I look like a little gleeful but like a little shy in mine, you know? I'm that person.
I'm the one that just looks like he's surprised to still be alive. You know, got that expression of like the like, wow, I'm still here.
Oh.
Now, the one funny thing is we've made such a big deal about Josh's baldness that I do feel like he's the easiest one to pick out.
Hey, don't give them hints.
It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a beard, and we've talked about your beard.
Well, Paul almost has a beard.
Yeah, I'm more of the like shave twice a week kind of guy. It's not a beard, but a little bit of scruff.
All right. I'm assuming Josh put this in the show doc, but from Nevo, why is Josh so cool?
Wow. Number one, Nevo, thank you for your question. You know, the first really good question of the night. I feel like we're really getting into the nitty gritty now, like the meat and potatoes of the show.
Yeah.
You know, if you will.
The hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, like the really deep, like, hey guys, now that we've gotten like the fun questions out of the way, like let's get real.
All right, can I answer this question earnestly?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. Josh is always fun to game with. Josh is always down. If you invite Josh, if he's not busy, he will always say yes. Whether it's in real life or it's online, he will always jump in. The only time he won't is if he has blinders on certain games or certain genres. So like you can't get him to play Animal Crossing. I don't think we could get him to actually play like Stardew Valley or something. But as long as it's not something like that, he is always game and he will always have a good time, even when losing. Which is why he's never rage quit.
That's true. It's like in all actuality, to answer this question from my own point of view, and thank you, Paul, because that is very true. I am extremely extroverted. I will never say no to hanging out with people. And so playing video games helps. I'm also extremely optimistic about everything. Like I don't have a pessimistic bone in my body. So between loving being around people and interacting with them and then always like just happy, I think that combines well and just makes me super cool, man.
If you say so yourself.
Right? Yeah. You know. Oh,
he's
Nevo
so humble.
said it. It's
he's
not
so
me.
humble.
Nevo, I mean, you know, hey, nobody's perfect, man. It's hard to be optimistic, extroverted, humble, this good looking at the same time. I mean,
okay, I'm gonna stop you from talking about yourself more.
By the way, I'm gonna delete everything that he just said when I edit the podcast.
I'm gonna go to listen back and I'm like, what happened to my segment, man?
Josh, you went on for 23 minutes about characteristics about yourself.
We're out of time.
Sorry.
All right. Josh, I feel like I've been making fun of you a lot in this podcast, so I'm just going to roll with it. Why are you so cool? It's because your heart's made out of ice.
Ooh.
I'm
okay.
I got him.
There is some
Mr.
truth
Freeze.
there is some truth to that.
Oh, that was bad, Arnold.
That was so bad.
That was so bad.
I am a little bit old school where I don't have a lot of patience for, I don't know how to put it. Like, I'm a little bit more old school where it's like, get over it, like tough love, you know, like suck it up. Like that was one of my parents' favorite sayings when I was a kid. Like I could fall down the stairs, break my leg, and my parents would be like, suck it up, kid, walk it off. You know? So,
did they just throw you in a pool one day and just like hope you would survive?
Here's a funny story, right? You guys know how siblings are, and I'll make this quick. But my brother was older than me, and we used to get in fights all the time.
Is he no longer older than you?
Well, I mean, he is, but you know, let's be honest, I'm getting older too. So it's like, that's at some point, it's just kind of like, who really cares? You know?
Right.
But my brother, we got into a fight on Christmas Eve of all days, and he like shoved me out of the way, and I wanted to get him in trouble. So when he shoved me, I fell down one stair, and I fell over so that my head was pointed down and my feet were pointed up the stairs. My parents were at the next door neighbors. We lived in like a duplex, so literally attached to our house. They were at a Christmas Eve party. I laid on those stairs for 2 hours straight, waiting for my parents to come next door so that when they walked through the door and saw me mangled on the bottom of the stairs, that they would instantly get mad at my brother and he would get in really bad trouble for it. After 2 hours of laying there, my mom walks in, looks at me, and goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, my brother pushed me down the stairs. She goes, "Get off the ground. What are you doing?" She would not buy into it at all. Dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. Okay, well, maybe not the dumbest, but, top 30 at least.
That's some dedication, though. The long con.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was dedicated. All right, sorry.
Moving on from Obi-Wan Waltanobi?
Waltanobi.
I don't Waltanobi.
Waltanobi.
How do your kids feel about their dads being gamer dads?
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, is all I'm going to say.
I mean, kids, how often do you guys play video games with your kids?
Fairly regularly.
If I could get them to play good games, it would be more often. But it's like my youngest only wants to play Roblox. And I have actually played Roblox with my youngest, but Roblox sucks, man. Like, Roblox is, I can't get into Roblox. And then my oldest only likes dinosaur games. So she loves Ark. She plays a game called The Isle. And then she plays Terraria, but none of those games interest me like at all. So we have played games together. Remnant from the Ashes, I played with her before I played with you guys, which was a lot of fun. That was really cool. Portal 2 we've played. So we've played a few games, but
have you said here's Monster Hunter? And they're kind of like dinosaurs.
We actually have talked about it, but with Cyberpunk coming out, I was like, sorry, kid, I can't be your dad for a little while. So, I was like, you're kind of on your own until that. And then we can play Monster Hunter together.
Oh.
Yeah. I used to always joke with my kids on Sundays after church. I would put on football and I would say, I'm not your dad for the next 2 hours. You got to go talk to mom. I am unavailable. And that'll be you with Cyberpunk. Yeah, I do play sometimes Overwatch with my kids, and then also, I talked about in a previous episode, hooking up a laptop to our TV, and I bought a USB hub and a couple of controllers, but we will actually hop on and play Super Monkey Ball on GameCube emulators and some old school games like that, and we were playing a little bit of Gauntlet on GameCube, and that was a lot of fun as well. So it's a great way to bond with your kids when you share a common interest like that. I can't wait until they're older and having the joy of playing games like Heavy Rain with them. I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Heavy Rain is a really, really deep, not disturbing,
dark.
but
it's pretty
dark.
Disturbing.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
That's the game you're excited about.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, watching people play Heavy Rain, you will learn something about your kids if you watch them play Heavy Rain and see the choices they make in that game.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait till they're a little older. I think right now at 9 and 11, they're not quite ready for the content in Heavy Rain. But when the day comes, we will play it.
For me, my 3-year-old loves it because I found on the Xbox Game Pass, they have a Disney park video game where it is Walt Disney Land it's Disneyland, and it's the whole park, and you have to go on these adventures and run and find different characters throughout the park. And then all the rides are just small mini games about Peter Pan and stuff like that. Except my 3-year-old doesn't know how to use the controller, so she's like, "Dad, let's play the Disney game. Let's play the Disney game." And then I'm like, "Oh, okay. Oh, let's go find Mickey. Let's go give Mickey a hug." And then you can give the characters hugs and high fives and stuff. So she has a blast with it. So, starting out young and starting out strong with the Disney Park game, which is a nice find on the Xbox Game Pass.
Got to get them started early.
Now, my youngest is almost exactly the same age as Todd's oldest. I think
Within
they were
weeks.
born a week apart. Yeah. And my 3-year-old could not care less about video games. She just wants to watch Mulan and Pocahontas. And today, for the first time, I made her sit down and watch me play Overwatch, and she really liked Mercy and kept saying that she was pretty and what's her name. So that's the extent that our 3-year-old has gotten with video games.
Yeah, whenever I play Mario Kart, my 3-year-old's like, you have to play she doesn't say it in a full sentence, but you have to play Princess Peach.
Right.
Like, she's like, Peach. And then I'll put it on like Luigi, and she's like, no. Princess. Like, okay. All right. And then, Nintendo's a good segue from E-Rock. Who's all your go-to Smash Brothers characters?
Now, have you guys played Smash Brothers recently? It's been a while for me.
It's been a while. I did play it for a while, and then I got out of it. I had like a 2-month phase where I really played a lot of Smash Bros, and then I have not really played it a lot since then. I do still remember the 2 characters that I liked, though. I liked Little Mac, so the boxer.
Oh, I love Little Mac.
Yeah, so Little Mac was one of my favorite characters, and then I liked there was 3 people with like swords. They were kind of just fighters. Marth and Ike were very similar in their play style, but those 2 I played a lot as well.
Yeah, I played a lot of the Smash Brothers on 64 and GameCube. I did not play very much at all, the subsequent ones, but I really liked Luigi in the 64 version, because I think it was called a Fire Punch. If you did like up and B or something, he would do an uppercut, and if you were really close to them, then you would knock them really high up in the air, and it was kind of easy to get a kill, and I really liked that. And I remember also doing a lot of Samus, where you would just sit back and charge up the gun, and then she would just shoot the giant bubble. And then that was kind of an easy way to just sit back and just try to time it where you would shoot people.
For me, it was Yoshi. I feel like Yoshi's kind of a troll character, because like you can eat people and put them in eggs. And then like if you get hit kind of far from the platform, because I'm not very good at Super Smash Brothers, you have the little
kicking
like
his
thing,
legs.
and then he kicks. Yeah. And so you get a little bit of leeway coming back to the platform, which I definitely need. And then I think he has a ground slam that's pretty good.
Yeah, the butt slam.
Yeah, so that was always my go-to character.
With Yoshi, I remember I would always try to stand on the edge and then try to grab a guy with my tongue, and that way they would shoot out as an egg, and it would just be down into oblivion where they would die. That was always the goal.
And it was funny every single time.
Oh yeah,
like if you could just stand on when you pull it off, you just stand on the side of the map, and it's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
All right, Josh, let's jump to our new Patreon supporters.
Ooh, buddy. Well, we have continually said that we're an independent podcast, and that one of the best ways you guys can help support the show, I mean, we've talked about it this episode, we're 3 dads. We do this because we love it. We love interacting with, the listeners. We have the Discord server, which is a great place to do that. But one way we like to say thanks anytime somebody signs up on Patreon and helps to support us is by just, giving a public shout out to them. And so we want to give a huge thank you to Reed. So Reed, thank you very much for your support. Nikki Rivers, not to be confused with Paul's wife, Nikki. But
I thought you were going to say not to be confused with Phillip Rivers,
no.
the quarterback.
So Nikki Rivers, and then last but not least, Obi-Wan Waltenobi.
Hello there.
Yes, hello. You're our only hope, even though Obi-Wan confessed he's not a huge Star Wars fan, so that's okay, because we like him anyway. But huge thank you to our new patrons, Reed, Nikki Rivers, and Obi-Wan Waltenobi. And honestly, if you guys are listening and you go, hey, I love these guys, I love the show, I want to support them, head over to multiplayersquad.com. You can sign up there. You're going to get access to our Discord server, which is amazing. But honestly, more importantly, it's really going to help us do this for you guys for a long time to come.
And we've already covered how cool Josh is, so you can come hang out with Josh online.
Yeah. Wow.
And you'll get grandfathered into the cool group.
We should make that like a tier.
The
That's
Josh
a great
tier?
idea. The Josh tier.
Is that where we pay them?
Yes. You just you pay them and say, look, sorry, you drew the short straw, but you have to play video games with Josh tonight.
We really want to play comp and Overwatch. Will you please take our Reaper? We need someone to babysit him.
I love it. All right, next question is from Reed, who you just said is a new Patreon member. In your opinion, who do you think is winning the console wars?
Ooh.
Parentheses, excluding PC, of course. Which I don't know if you have to exclude PC.
He knows that we're PC gamers for the most part. I mean, at heart, we're PC
fair.
gamers. So I think he's just saying, hey, like, you know, in regards to the
outside
console
of
specifically,
PC,
right?
yeah.
For me, it's always been PlayStation. Like, I owned an Xbox. I was a huge Halo fan back in the day. I mean, you know, I was a big Xbox fan, but even then, I still had a slight jealousy to my friends that had a PlayStation and all the great exclusives. I'll say that in this most recent release of the newest consoles, I feel like the Xbox is getting a lot of positive press, and they've made a lot of strides. Even with that said, I would still much rather own a PS5. I mean, maybe not right this second when there's not any must-play games, but give it a year and a half from now, and there's going to be some really amazing PS5 games that I am going to play. So I give the edge to PlayStation still.
Yeah, I think there's no question who's winning it right now. It's Xbox. The Xboxes perform a little bit better. They have a cheaper version with or without the disc, so you have to give it to Xbox. But once more PlayStation exclusives start coming out, I do think they'll take the edge. And I know that it's a bigger investment in the beginning to buy a PS5, but you're probably going to own it for 5 years or more, as long as you take good care of it. And I think eventually they'll pull out ahead. Although today you have to give it to Xbox, no question.
And I kind of think like Xbox cares about like their hardware, but I think they're starting to think about like a larger picture beyond that. And that's with buying out Bethesda and like their parent company. Like Xbox cares about gaming. They're going to invest in gaming and studios, and like their more recent moves to me just said, we're going to be here for a while.
I'll say this. We had this conversation in our Discord server earlier, but if PlayStation does not do a Game Pass soon, they're gonna fall behind. They're gonna lose that battle. Like, I mean, Xbox is crushing it with the Game Pass, and PlayStation, they need to adopt something. You know, they can't just keep the, hey, you want to play your games, you pay us $60, because it's gonna hurt them in the long run.
Well, they have PlayStation Now, which I've used in the past, where I've done gaming with PlayStation 3 games on my PC. I know they have PS4 stuff now, but I haven't looked into it in a long time. But they do definitely need to make it a little bit more robust and include the newer games. It definitely seems to be the wave of the future. And we all know how much Todd loves his Game Pass. We can't get him to stop talking about
all
it.
I hear every day.
I
Game
do.
Pass.
I really do love it. Like,
did you hear what I got on my Game Pass today? Oh, did you hear what's coming out on the Game Pass? Like, oh, did I tell you guys I downloaded 800 gigabytes worth of Game Pass games this week?
And yet all he plays is Age of Empires 2.
Yeah.
you're not wrong.
Yeah. It's like how people would say they would pay $15 a month just to watch The Office over and over on Netflix. I feel like that's Todd. Like, he pays for the pass, just plays Age of Empires.
But I'm waiting for Halo to come out. I'm waiting for the new Fable to come out.
Oh, I can't wait for Fable.
I'm having fun playing these other games that like I might not normally have picked up, like any last year sports games. Like I like playing NHL, I like playing Madden, I like playing FIFA. I'm not going to pay $60 for any of those. I'm not going to pay more than $10 for any of those, but I do like them as casual games. And like when I had a PS4, because I switched from PlayStation to Xbox in this last generation, and I think I had FIFA 2017. Like, it was an old FIFA, and I just stayed with that game till 2020 because I didn't need to upgrade. But now, like, I get it for free, and like everything with Xbox has just been like, oh, you get like these really cool games that make it worth it, and then here's a whole bunch of free things that is just a little bit better, a little bit better. And I don't know, like, for me, I think the conversation of a console war is changing to now what is the better, stronger system. Like Nintendo, like we didn't mention Nintendo. Nintendo's in the console war.
Nintendo wins, yeah, by a landslide. That we were all wrong. The answer is Nintendo. Of course.
I don't.
You still can't buy a Switch. They're still sold out everywhere. Like, man. They've sold so many.
I mean, yes, but I'll take a PlayStation over a Switch any day.
Well, sure, but that's a personal. If you ask who's winning, it's Nintendo. They're making money hand over fist.
Yeah, you can't deny that they're probably the richest, as far as that goes. But
yeah, and like, I don't know. Their games are fine, but like they're not gonna have like modern AAA titles, and that's like a big notch against them.
Other than Zelda, and I mean, Breath of the Wild is the reason I wanted a Switch, to be honest. So,
and all the Mario games,
right?
Are great.
All right, closing out this episode, I want to go through some of just quick questions from our Discord. What inspired you guys to make a podcast?
An excuse to buy those expensive brand new games.
Yeah.
Sorry, honey. Yeah. It's for work.
I do tell my wife that I need to do work, and that's why we have to play some of the games or do that. I mean, it quickly, it was just, we always talked about video games. We would chat before while we were waiting on other friends to hop on and stuff like that. And we just thought, like, we have fun doing this. It'd be cool to be able to have other people join us. And that's kind of what the podcast is.
All of us love podcasts, and I listen to, I can't tell you how many hours of podcasts a week, especially when I was commuting like 30, 40 minutes to work.
And you thought, who I'd rather listen to?
Josh.
Myself.
Oh.
Josh. Oh, Josh. No.
All right. Moving on. What is an unusual fact about yourself?
Oh, I didn't even see that question in the doc. I'm going to have to think about that.
Oh.
Do you have a good answer for that one, Josh? I feel like you already burned the interesting fact about working with dolphins.
Okay, I'll say this.
Oh, dear. Like, you know what? Todd just wanted an excuse, apparently, to play the banjo.
Oh, is that what? Oh, yeah. I have no musical ability.
Was this question submitted by Todd?
Yeah, I feel like it is. Unusual fact about me. I can do, no lie, I can do like 75 push-ups at any given moment. Like, I don't know why. I can do push-ups for days.
Prove it.
I really, people have questioned me.
I will count all 75 while it is.
This is going to make riveting podcasting.
People have questioned me. It's like, Josh, can you do 75 podcasts? Or 75 push-ups? Yeah.
No, I've made this claim, and then people have been like, there's no way. There's no way you can do that many push-ups. Like, real legit push-ups at one point. And I'm like, dude, I can. Like,
you have to back it up. You have to do 75 push-ups. Not right this second. You can have like a week to train if you want. But I think it's fair. You have to have a video of 75 push-ups.
What do I get if I prove it, Todd? Put your money where your mouth is, man.
I'll let you host.
Oh man, that's just one episode. Let me host for one episode. We will lose half our listeners.
You get to choose the game. You get to choose everything. Like, it's when the student is principal for a day.
Oh, I'm sending you a video.
All right.
I'm not saying it won't be edited, but I'm sending you a video.
It's just the same push-up looped over and over
Dude,
again.
he said he could do 75. This guy's done 1,000. What about you, Paul?
Not many people know this, but at any point I can do 76 push-ups.
Dang it! I was gonna one-up me, Paul.
Paul, I trust you. I don't
Thank
need
you.
any proof.
And I will host the next episode. No, an interesting fact about me, I guess it would be the fact that my wife and I, we have fostered and adopted, which has given us a very interesting family tree. Our oldest child is about to turn 25 and our youngest is 3. So we have a very large split between our kids. And it also means that we are very young grandparents because I have 2 grandchildren despite being 36 years old.
Yeah,
so that's an interesting fact.
And you guys call me the old one.
I know, I'm the grandpa.
Paul's the grandpa. You know what? I'm vote right here and now that we move to relabel Paul as the grandpa of the show.
Do that on your own podcast, Josh. Let's see those 75 push-ups.
That'll be the extra push for Josh to get there. Then he can make that motion.
He's not the old one, he's the wise one.
Who, me?
No.
I'm not wise.
No. No one's ever called Josh wise.
That's why I was like, what? Like, what's going on around here?
All right. Fun fact for me, I can play, off the top of my mind, I counted 5 stringed instruments.
That's a lot.
Guitar, banjo, bass, ukulele, and piano.
Piano is a stringed instrument. I almost sounded really dumb right there. Because I was like, piano's not a... Oh, yes, it is. Never mind.
I think I think they're all percussion or like counted as percussion. But yeah, 5 stringed instruments. You guys heard a little bit of banjo. You can follow my banjo blog, banjo bob blob blob. No, I don't have a banjo blog. Maybe maybe I should. Maybe I don't. I'm a mediocre at best banjo player. Let's be real. But yeah, 5 stringed instruments. That's my fun fact. All right. Well, that is our show for you today. I hope you had fun listening to our Q&A from people like you. We're going to do these every once in a while, so make sure to follow us on our Instagram and Twitter /multiplayerpod. And then you can also find out more information about us at our website, multiplayerpodcast.com. And we have a Patreon that we mentioned earlier in the episode that you can find at multiplayersquad.com. See you guys Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday. Welcome to the I did not like that.
That's kind of
I liked the energy. A little bit higher, Todd.
Yeah. Go in your upper register.
Cakewalk drops it an octave, so just you gotta compensate.
I slow down the... Welcome to the Multiplayer Podcast. Hi, everybody. Make sure to delete that before I send you the file.
Yeah, this is some incriminating stuff.